Welcome to the Leroy Carlton Show. I am your host, Leroy Carlton, and as always, God is the forefront of everything that we do. So I would like to start the show off with a quick prayer. Lord, thank you for all that I was able to accomplish today. It was one of those fruit-bearing days where a lot of things came together and I got them done. I'm happy to report this to you because I am so often on the other side of this fence. So often I tell you how diminished I feel for not getting things done. Thank you for blessing me with this sense of completion and fullness. I always have a clearer picture of my life's purpose when I have a day like this one. I know you have designed me to do a particular work, and I'm pleased to do it. Even more, I'm thankful when I can actually witness the progress myself of what has been accomplished. Thank you for helping me bear good fruit for you today. In Jesus' name, amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a guest today that I met some time ago in a network that I am no longer a part of. And we talked, but it was briefly. But I think the thing that stood out amongst the both of us was the fact that we both were from Baltimore. And I've always tracked this brother, even though we haven't been in communication like that. I've always tracked what this brother has been doing. And he has been doing some major things. So I'm going to tell you about him real quick. He's a corporate trainer, 3-time author, motivational speaker, master of ceremony. From the tough neighborhoods of Baltimore and Jacksonville to becoming America's premier emotional intelligence trainer. His journey is one of resilience and triumph. Raised single-handedly by a resilient mother amidst of challenges such as substance abuse, homelessness, poverty, domestic abuse, his story is one of remarkable perseverance. Undeterred by the hardships, he successfully pursued his education, earning a bachelor's degree in psychology from the prestigious Johns Hopkins University. I know y'all know that place well. And a master's in nonprofit management at Capella University. His incredible journey and dedication to overcoming adversity has fueled his passion to help others. He uses his expertise to support numerous organizations with their team building incentives, communication enhancement, data analysis, program development. His engaging workshops and seminars have gained wide acclaim, not across the United States, but globally. His extensive portfolio of certified clients includes powerhouses like Fed Chrysler Corporation, the Federal Department of Education, and the Washington, D.C. Business District, just to name a few. In addition to his hands-on training, he authored a best-selling book on emotional intelligence, topping Amazon's charts in 3 categories. Always enthusiastic, his mantra is, "Let me help your team overachieve." His commitment to helping others reach their full potential is as unwavering as his journey towards success. So without further ado, let me introduce to you my good brother, Rodney C. Burris.
Thank you, brother Leroy.
Did I do you justice?
Man, you made me sound like a superstar over there or something, bro. How you been, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Man, I tell you what, I was looking forward to this show, man. I was telling my wife, I was like, listen, I'm going live tonight, right? Like, I need everybody to be quiet, you know. I was really looking forward to this, man. That this is a platform that I rep Baltimore everywhere. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I feel
Because
you.
I want. It's not that I want to be the face of it, but this is what I'm trying to say, Leroy. Everywhere we go, everywhere I go is, oh, the Wire. You from Baltimore, the Wire, and I get it,
Yeah,
right? Because
I
we
relate.
know, right?
I relate.
We know what it is, but at the same time, there's other faces to Baltimore, right? There's other parts of who we are to our story. So I want people, when they think of me, I want them to think of Baltimore. You got something positive that you feel in connection to me, great. Connect that to my city, right? Connect that to where I was born, where my running up and down Gwen Oak, running up and down Spalding Avenue, right? Running up, going down South Baltimore. Connect that to my people, right? Because it's more to my city than just some of the narratives that's out there. I'm gonna say this real quick, man. I remember when we had, the riots a little bit ago, back in 2015,
Oh, I'm
and
losing you.
I'm
Oh,
here.
you there?
No,
You there?
yeah.
Yeah, you there?
Okay. I was saying I remember when we had the riots back in 2015, and you look on TV and it's like Baltimore's burning. Baltimore's, and I saw the CBS and I saw the smoke. But Leroy, so I live off like Alameda Cold Spring, right, in that area, right?
Okay, you in the Park Heights area.
No. So
Oh,
that's Cold
you're a little
Spring out
farther.
west.
You're
I'm
a
more
little
like
farther.
going towards Morgan. Like
Okay, got you.
Cold Spring
Okay,
straight towards Morgan, right? So
you
I'm
by
close.
Morgan University. I got you.
So I'm looking outside my window. My kids outside. There's other kids outside playing with my kids. It's nice out. But you look on TV and the headlines just say Baltimore's burning, right? And so it's not to say that the riots didn't happen, that CVS did burn down, right? All of that stuff is true. And also, so everywhere I go, I rep Be More, right? Because there's some beauty in our bruises, man.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Absolutely.
It is. And this first question I'm gonna ask you is on a kind of a somber note,
Okay, yeah.
and I know you know what I'm about to
Yeah.
ask you. How you feel about the Key Bridge collapsing?
Yeah, man. I it's so funny, bro. I had this conversation with you this morning. Right? Like kind of in my spirit. So like I had this conversation with you. I used to live out Dundalk. So when we first got
Right,
married, when I graduated college, our first apartment was way out Dundalk. Um,
right.
and we took the Key Bridge all the time. Um, and it's so crazy, Leroy. I used to tell her, I used to tell her, like, I was like, if this bridge ever go down, she was like, why do you say that? And I was like, I'm not trying to sound morbid. I ain't trying to sound like but I would always tell her, like, I would be like, the first thing I'm gonna do, like, if I feel it jerk like that and it seemed like it might, I'm gonna hit the auto window so the window go down because people get trapped in the car.
That's
Right?
right.
All
That's
right, so
right.
I'm gonna hit the window. I'm gonna be ready on the seatbelt. I'm not gonna take the seatbelt off because I was playing it through. I took the bridge all the time. So like if I take the seatbelt off and I hit the water, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna hit the ceiling, right? I'm gonna be messed up. So I'm gonna keep the seatbelt on, but I'm gonna be right there to take it off as soon as we hit. We'll come. I used to play through it all the time. When
Right.
I tell you, man, when I saw that boat hit that pillar of that bridge going that slow.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, so I'm 42, right? I'm 42.
I'm 58.
You 58. So you already know probably very well I'm about to say George Foreman came back. So my father was very much into boxing.
Right.
I used to watch it coming up. So when Foreman came back as a big boy, right? He hit them guys, he moving all slow, knocking people out. That's what that boat was.
That
It was
force.
so much force. It
That
was so much
force.
momentum, man. But I'm glad that they slowed the traffic down, right? Because there was a lot of lights zipping over that right before
It
that boat hit.
was. It was. It was.
And then at the last minute, it seemed like it kind of trickled down and it was like nothing. And then the boat hit. So I know people talking about conspiracy theories with it. I really don't got no dog in that fight.
Nah.
I, I don't. It's sad to see it go. I hope it come back bigger and better than ever. I hope it connect more of the city together.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I feel about it, bro. What about you? Was you impacted by it?
Yeah, when I saw the video, you could see a tractor trailer going over just as the boat hit. The tractor trailer got off the bridge.
Bro,
So I was assuming, okay, hopefully everybody else
right.
got off before all of that happened.
Yeah.
And I just watched it just drop like a toy, man. It just
Crazy, bro.
fell apart like a toy. So when I got up this morning, I said, you know what? Let me do a video, saying prayers going up for the people if it was somebody that didn't make it off that bridge.
That's right. That's right.
So I did that, and I say, man, this is wow. This is crazy. It's something you see in a movie.
That's it was movie quality, and
Yes, it was.
It felt like a toy, bro, like a Lego, bro.
Yes, it
Like
did.
The whole bridge, like it's unbelievable. It's the way it fell, and just like it just.
And they've just been running it on TV all day.
I ain't really been on TV. Yeah.
Day. When I got up this morning, because I usually get up at 4.
Okay. Oh wow, bro.
I'll get me a cup of coffee. I'll go do my workout, and then when I come in, I'll just cut CBS News on.
Okay.
Get the weather, because I really don't watch the news, because all they talk about is bad stuff. So
bad.
But right. That was the subject of the day. That's all they was talking about.
It's national news, bro. The president was talking about it.
Yeah. So
wow. You want to know something interesting, man? I know the two guys, bro. Brandon and Wes. They my homies, man.
Mm-hmm.
So Wes and I met Wes first. So I met Wes in college. Wes went to Hopkins, right? So we was, playing on an intramural basketball team. Wes actually was on the football team.
Right.
So he was on the football team. I wasn't really a football cat, but just sitting around and eating wings and all that kind of stuff. I remember when he graduated, the first time I ever was in a Tesla, Leroy. This brother, so when he graduated, he did some overseas stuff. He was in the military for a little bit. He was in New York for a little while. Then he came back. Him and his wife, they lived down Federal Hill for a little bit.
Okay.
And I remember one of them trips where he was coming back and forth. He was like, yo, we just got up, right? Just hanging out and all that kind of stuff. And that car looked like a spaceship, man. Like, I remember thinking, like, this looked like the Enterprise, bro. Like,
I rented one.
Yeah, man.
Just to see how it would be. And I drove it to Georgia.
Oh, how'd it drive?
It drove great.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the fact that I had to stop and charge it.
Oh, yeah.
And just, then get back on the road.
So how long was the charging?
Charge take about maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Bro, that's like getting gas.
Pretty much.
That's like, yeah.
It's just the stopping and, that charge go quick depending on how fast you're going.
Okay. How many times did you have to do it?
I did it like maybe 3-4 times.
Okay.
So if I'm driving gas, I'm only stopping once.
Once or twice.
Maybe twice.
Maybe twice. I got you. I got you. So that charge kind of go out a little bit.
Yeah, I got tired of stopping,
Yeah.
Because it lets you know, hey, you need to pull over and it'll pull it up on your screen.
Oh, that's
you
dope.
need to go here.
Oh, that's dope.
And charge your car.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah,
cool. I thought that was cool.
That is, man.
That it do that. It lets you know, hey, you got
this
many miles before you need a full charge. So you keep going, then it'll say, okay, we found a charging station for you here. Go here and charge the car.
Yo, that's futuristic stuff, man.
It is, man. And I say I would never get one though, because I don't like the fact that I gotta stop and charge. I want to get where I'm going.
Nah, man, I ain't mad at that, man. And man, but just to see them guys, man, to see Wes, to see Brandon. So me and Brandon met. My first real job, second real job out of college was at Big Brothers Big Sisters here in the city, right? And it was this little peony neck boy. He a few years younger than me, named Brandon. His cell phone number, Leroy, to this day is still Brandon BBBS, Big Brothers Big Sisters, right? That's his name in my phone, Brandon BBBS, to this day. But he used to be like, yeah, right. You know, he went to Mervo. I forgot what college he went to.
Right.
Salisbury, Eastern Shore, something. I forgot one of them. But he was always talking about getting into politics. But I can honestly tell you this. First of all, I didn't really believe him, to be honest with you. I didn't, because it just sounded to me, man, you know, like, I'm not saying he's this much younger than me. He's only like 2-3 years younger than me. But to me, he sounded like back then, like the guy that was like, yo, you saw Jordan? I'm going to get an NBA. Like, I'm going to go. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Me and my team was making moves to get into the political world a little bit back in the day too. And so the way he talked about it wasn't how we talked about it. And I was like, okay, okay, Brandon. Like, all right. But you know, then he was like, Rod. He was like, Rod, Councilwoman Rollins Blake said that I could volunteer, like I could help out with her, you know. He rolled that opportunity just to help out all the way up. But I can tell you this, we played ball throughout the years. You know, we met up at different spots, just run into each other. Not even like meeting, like, hey, let's get up. Just like, I'm there, he there. Like, what's up? The cat that he is, Leroy, I don't know how well you may know him, but the cat that Brandon is the cat that he was. And that's what I also say about Wes. The stuff that Wes talked about, he was that type of cat when we was 19, 20, 22 years old on campus. And so I may or may not agree with every little thing one of the guys wanted to do, but this is what I say. I know where they coming from. I know their heart, right? And so it's like, even if I disagree in a moment about, and there's not a whole bunch I disagree with, ain't nobody perfect, but I rock with those guys, man. They also are a face for Baltimore to me. You know what I mean? They also represent what I was talking about a little bit earlier. So I wish they wasn't in this position. But to see them connecting in a positive way and being a face of what this thing looks like, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. That was the first time I actually saw the governor.
Okay.
And the mayor.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I was like, wow. I said, man, I've been away from BMO for a minute.
Yeah. Where you at now, bro?
I'm in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, and my family, all of my family is still in Baltimore. My brothers, you know, my brothers, my sisters, nieces, nephews, grandparents, everybody is still there.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one that left.
Listen, man, sometimes you got to stretch out.
That's how I got to the military.
That's how I got down to Florida, man. My mom needed to get us some space from some of that.
Oh, yeah, man.
That craziness.
Believe me, I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah.
Well, here's that ties into my next question.
Okay.
Looking at where we come from.
Yeah, man.
Right? How come you didn't become a product of your environment?
Bro, there's a book by a gentleman named Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell got this book. It's about all of these people who became successful. Bill Gates, Wayne Gretzky, the hockey player. I mean, just example after example after example. The name of the book is called Outliers.
Outliers.
The theme of the book, Leroy, is here's all of the stuff that we know about these individual success, and here's the other part that we don't know that just so happened to go together. And I think it's both of those things, right? I think it's both. Yeah, you got to try. Yeah, it's the effort. Yeah, it's the work. And also, somebody like a big brother Leroy got to come and tap on somebody's door and be like, hey, yo, right? It's both of those things. So I'm going to give you an example. And I'm gonna answer it personally, but I'm gonna keep going with the book for a second. There's something in his book that he found called the 10,000 hour rule. You ever heard of that before?
Yeah, I heard of that.
10,000. Go ahead, make it plain for us, Leroy. The 10,000 hours.
Okay. There's this book that I read called the 12-hour day.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I don't know if you read that.
I haven't heard of it.
But it's called the 12-hour day.
Okay.
And you break those hours up into 4 hours.
Okay.
For the first 4 hours, this is what you do on your particular mission. For the next 4 hours, this is what you do to implement what you started.
Okay.
For the next 4 hours, which puts you at what?
Depending on when you start.
You close to the 12.
You close to the you
But
getting close to the 12, right?
those last 4 hours, you should be at a point where everything that you started and implemented is complete.
Oh wow.
And your day is done.
Wow.
And that is with anything that you're doing, whether you're running a business,
Wow.
whether whatever it is that you're doing, this is a 12-hour schedule.
What's the name of that book, bro?
It's called The 12-Hour Day.
12-hour
Matter of
day.
fact, hold on.
I'm gonna send myself a note about that, brother.
Hold on, I'll get it to you right now. I'll tell you who the author is. I'm sorry, I told you that totally wrong. It's the 4-Hour Work Week.
The 4-hour.
The 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss.
Timothy Ferriss. That Timothy Ferriss, 2 S's. That I'm gonna look into that. I actually heard of that book before, but I never read it.
Good book, and it relates to your 10-hour thing you were just talking about.
Got you. So I love that, right? So the 10,000 hour rule kind of is like a continuation of that, right? So the 10,000 hour rule is he studied Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs. Like it's not even sports, it's tech, it's mental, it's finance, it's business.
I follow Warren Buffett.
The Beatles, right? All of these guys seem like they had a period of their life where they did their craft for about 10,000 hours. And so what he discovered was 10,000 hours creates mastery in a given thing.
Right.
Now, here's what sucks. If I got 10,000, I'm 32 years old, and I got 10,000 hours of sloughing around, not really, I'm a master at it. You know how hard it is to break the habit of a master? You know how hard it is to break the focus of a kung fu mat or Tiger Woods on the golf course. They masters. Michael Jordan at the free throw line ain't missing. He ain't missing when he in the air, right? Like he's still gonna make this. He's a master. And so Steph Curry ain't missing that 3-pointer. It don't matter. He off balance, mouthpiece hanging out. We unfortunately, man, sometimes become masters in things that we don't want to be masters in, right? So that's just like a little note to self. Like it's never too late. As long as we got breath, bro, we can start developing a mastery in something else. So the 10,000 hour rule, working at it kind of leads to success. Another thing that led to success was when these dudes was born. For example, Wayne Gretzky got a weird birthday where he was like 2 years older playing in the leagues coming up than everybody else. So he got talent. Yeah, his dad made him practice, but he was bigger. He was older because of his birthday cutoffs in the way Canada was set up. That's an outlier. I had outliers. I had mentors in my life. There's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Darnell Smith. Mr. Darnell Smith right now is the vice president of something. I don't know his whole title, but he's the vice president of something for Blue Cross Blue Shield down in Florida, like the Northeast region of marketing, something like that, right?
Right.
But back when I was a boy, when I was 14, he didn't have that title. He was just a supervisor. He had a son that was my age, a little bit younger than me. And he told my mom, he was like, let me take Chris out to the movies. My mom calls me Chris. My family calls me Chris. That's the C in my name, right?
Right.
Okay. He was like, let me take little Chris out. You know, let me just hang out with him. Let me tell you something, bro. This one was down in Florida. This after we left Baltimore, down in Florida. Pac was on the radio. We give you a kind of the aid there, right? Pac was on the radio with Dear Mama, right? Even though they sold drugs, they showed a young brother. This was on the radio, right? So I resonated with that song because we ain't have a lot of food, we ain't have a lot of money. I got 2 younger sisters, and we was living in these apartments, Leroy, where the cats that was like a few years older than us, that whole crew, they was the superstars. But they hustled, right? They played ball, and they hustled. They was always fresh. And I remember, man, one of them walking up to my little crew, and he was like, yo, I got some work coming in. He's like, I need some help. He said, you get half of whatever you get half whatever you sell. You sell 50, you get 25. You sell 100, you get 50. That sounded like money, bro. It sounded like money. And I knew that it was stupid. I remember the guys, they was walking, man. They kept walking. And I was just kind of getting real slow out the pack because he was behind us, right? So I'm slowed down, just kind of like listening. And they was like, Chris, come on, man. Like, come on. And I finished rapping with, and I knew there was a dumb thing to do, right? Like, I know that this wasn't smart. But, right, around the same time I'm trying to figure all of that out, Mr. Darnell scooped me up, man. Took me out, got me something to eat. And then he wasn't in I ain't talked to him every week. I ain't talked to him every month. But it was like period. I remember my first real big coat. I had a starter jacket. He bought me my first little starter jacket back in the day.
I had the Maryland one.
You had the Maryland one. I had the Dallas Cowboy one because it was blue. But yeah, man, it's men like that. My barber, Mr. His name was Dex. And Dex, I stay in touch with to this day. Dex would give me free haircuts every time I had good grades, Leroy. So if I came in, now school was easy for me. I was one of those cats that now I was getting in trouble. I was fighting, I was getting suspended, and I was passing the test crazy. Killing the SAT scores, killing the standardized, right? It was both of those, right? I never did homework because my home life was crazy, right? Like I didn't have a life to sit down at the table and do homework. That wasn't my life. But school was easy. I read what I wanted to read. So if they was reading chapter 3, I'm in chapter 10. Like, this is interesting. Like, I was just one of those cats, right?
Right.
Well, Dex told me, and he a down south player, gangster kind of. Nah, I love Shotty, like a nah, Shotty. Rodney, we gotta call you Rodney. Chris for the streets. We're gonna call you Rodney, right? So Dex told me, he was like, every time you bring a good grade in here, I'm gonna give you a free haircut. I needed a free haircut because my mom ain't had the money, right? And he wanted to stay fresh. But on top of that, he was proud of me, Leroy. And it was like being able to bring him something and he'll tell the whole barbershop. It was another cat in there, a tall cat named Camille, but they called him Cadillac. He'd be like, Camille, look at this guy, look at Rodney. Look at Rodney, these grades, boy. And then I get a free haircut. I did that, bro, for like most of my high school, man, from like 9th grade all the way through. So it was men like that, man, that came in my life at these crazy times, man, that was like the boost that I needed. I couldn't see them all the time. But that, I would say, would be the difference, man, that really kind of helped me in my story. And so I believe in kind of, man, it's so funny that we talking about this, man. I got a text message today. This is God, bro. This is God, bro. I got a text message today from somebody in my circle who their children kind of know. So my kids, my kids' generation, my mother has 16, Leroy, grandkids. So my kids make up a group of 16.
Total, that sounds like my father. He was the third of 16.
Good night. Yeah, so yeah, my kids come out of that. Like that whole cousin crew is 16 of them, right? There's a family that's connected to that cousin crew. They don't live in Baltimore. Okay. I'm barely in Baltimore, right? I'm bouncing. And they hit me up today. This is how you doing God's work, bro. If the only reason why I'm coming on your show, Leroy Carlton, for no other reason is to tell you that you are doing God's work for whoever hears your stuff in the future, in the present. This is too coincidental for it to be a coincidence. You're doing God's work, man.
I appreciate that.
I mean that, bro. So they hit me up today, man. It was like, my kid's father is not in their life like he needs to be. Can you be more in their life? I can't promise that. But I just said out of my mouth that presence was a difference maker for me, and I didn't get to see him all the time. I just said that.
And that's funny you bring that up, because coming from the same background,
yeah, man,
I didn't have that one person that would, hey, Leroy, you need to do this, because like you, people from school and work know me as Leroy.
Okay.
Family know me as Curtis.
Got you. Okay.
See?
Okay.
So if you hear somebody call me Curtis,
We know where they know you from.
exactly.
Yeah, man.
So in high school, I had a guy named Mr. Amos.
Mhm.
Mr. Amos was an art teacher
Mhm.
because I was real good at art.
Okay.
And I went to the Maryland Institute of Art.
You went to Micah?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Went there for 3 years.
Wow.
Then, upon high school,
Uh-huh.
there was Mr. Jordan
Mhm.
because I ran track and field. Won a scholarship, went to CCB,
Uh-huh.
transferred from CCB, went to Towson State.
Yeah, yeah.
Upon leaving Towson State, I joined the Navy. Still a knucklehead, not really listening
Mm-hmm.
until I met this guy, Lieutenant Commander Johnson,
Lieutenant
who's
Johnson,
from Florida.
who's from Florida. Look at
He's
that.
from Florida.
Look at that connection.
Had a goal on the side. He was an officer.
Okay.
I was a knucklehead in the Navy. Ain't a white man gonna tell me what to do.
Right.
Not
Right.
thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I got wrote up 15 times.
15.
And I had to go see the man because they was going to discipline me. So we took a recess, but Lieutenant Commander Johnson came down.
Mm.
I'm on the flight deck because I'm trying to let off steam. I'm pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
These boys trying to kick me out of the Navy. And that brother came down,
and
he was an officer.
Mm.
Took his hat off. He set his hat on the flight deck. Now, Lieutenant Commander Johnson is 6'6", 245 pounds of solid muscle.
Whoa.
His brother ain't have an ounce of fat on his body.
Good night. 240.
I'm 20 years old. I'm about 95, soaking wet. And he came over to me, put his hat down, and he says, "There's something you want to get off your chest." And push me. Now I'm looking at this big dude, and I'm like, I'm only gonna get one good shot, so I gotta make it a good one.
You only gonna get that one. And then that's it. There's lights out.
And he was like, push me again. And he said, "Is there something you want to get off your chest?" He said, "Because let me tell you something. I ain't gonna tell you the cuss words he called me, but he called me a lot of names."
Good, right.
He said, "Them white boys up there were like nothing more than to kick you out of the Navy. And if you get kicked out, your life is over. You ain't be able to work nowhere, but maybe a fast food spot if you're lucky." So he said, "What I need you to do is get your act together." And he, shoved my head like that. He did that like 3 or 4 times as he's sitting there fussing me out.
Yeah, man.
And he was like, "If you want to beat them at their own game, here's what you do." So he said, you read the regulations for the United States Navy, and then you read the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You read a page of each book every single day, and you learn it. You study it. You will beat them at their own game. He said, "Why you think I'm an officer?"
Woo!
And he picked his hat up, put his hat back on, and he shoved me again.
Right. That was a period, bro. That's an exclamation point in
yeah. And he turned around, and before he walked off, he said it again. "Get your shit together."
Yeah, I like it.
He walked off. I never saw that brother again, man.
Are you serious?
I never saw that brother again.
What happened to him? He got transferred?
After everything was done,
yeah,
we went back to Captain's Mast, what they call it, and I received my punishment. I got reduction in rank, but he didn't kick me out. And I think the simple fact he didn't kick me out because I was married at the time. And he said, "I believe in rehabilitation." He said, "My whole chain of command just talked about me like I was mud." Lieutenant Commander Johnson said no comment, because he had already said what he had to say to me. And so when everything was said and done and we walked away, I never saw that brother again.
That's something, man.
Now,
yeah,
I retired from the military 30 years.
Okay.
Never had the chance to tell that brother thank you because he is the reason
He's the reason.
I did 30 years.
That's
And so when you look at where we come from in Baltimore to where we are now, and here's my next question to you.
yeah, man.
How did your mother
Mm.
impact your life?
Yeah, man. Uh, my mom listens to these interviews. Um, she follows me a lot. Um, she loves it. She hates it. She feels angst when I talk about some of the stuff. She used to tell me all the time, like, you make me sound like I was crazy. I'm like, no, mom, that's not how you sound. Like, nobody's listening to the stuff that I'm saying and walk away with his mom was crazy. Like, no, that's not
No,
how I
not at
even tell a
all.
story, right?
Right, right.
But I the I'm gonna go back to Pac, right? I'm gonna loop this right back around. So in that song, the Dear Mama song,
Yep.
he says, "There's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is just to show you that I understand." I tell you what, when I heard that back then, I thought I knew exactly what he was talking about. As my children begin to get on my nerves, I thought I knew exactly what she was talking about. As I sit here talking with you today at 42, Leroy, what I realized, man, is that there's these perfect little relationship buckets, boxes, titles, categories. And what fits inside of there is a bunch of you're supposed to. You're supposed to, you're supposed to, you're supposed to.
Right.
The older I get, the more I realize, just like little kids not supposed to know all of the stuff about their parents or sit at the big table because it's some conversation they just not ready to process.
Right.
There's things that so my mother and I have much more of a peer friend dynamic, friendship kind of bond.
Right.
She my mama, right? All day long. And she my mama all day
Right.
long. But as I look at her story, where she came from and how she got to be, and how she met the individual who's my dad, and who my dad was, and who I am, and what I, fought against for being, so little kids, man, like the class clown, he didn't just start being funny. He was getting in trouble in the third grade, right? Like he been there, little, you right? He been there with a Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans ain't never not got in trouble, Leroy. He never not got in trouble, bro.
Right.
So the things that's like popping or positive about me, I had like the little growings of that. God is wise, bro.
Right.
And although we don't pick and choose, there's a bigger like orchestration happening. And what I needed from her and what she needed from me didn't look like, in my view, traditional mommy relationship, right? But what it created was a great bond. I have a great bond with my mom. And on the one hand, I don't got that big mama feel, to be honest
Right.
with you, like that kind of like, but oddly enough, she's becoming that as a grandma. Like as a grandma, and I tell them all the time, I was like, her name is Ma Rose. The grandma version of my mother is Ma Rose, right? And I tell them 16, bro, Leroy, I tell them, like, I ain't grew up with Ma Rose. I grew up with Sister Sharon. And Sister Sharon that's a different lady. Like
Ain't
this
play.
nice, soft, cuddly, buy y'all matching outfits, cook all day. I ain't grow up with her. But being the strength for my mother, and then looking to do that again. So I found somebody that was just like my mama and got married to him so I could be the strength for them. And there's nothing wrong with that. except for this right here. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's a greater growth, I think. And so this is how I tie it in now. What we do, people that help people, whether it's hospital work or going into classrooms or open up a shelter, soup kitchen, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
People that help people, a lot of times we help people, we get into what we do, Leroy, because of what we didn't have, right? Because of out of a lack, right? And so we want to heal that. And so we give and provide this growth so that nobody else experiences what we did. But that's similar to feeding somebody because we hungry. And if we're starving, no matter how much food I give, I don't get nourished. And so there's a self-healing aspect that we don't always give ourselves permission to even recognize. There's a reason why I'm trying to do. There's a reason why we gotta give, I can't let him down. It's a reason why that pull is so strong. This is a part of the emotional intelligence, a part of my story, right? So this whole emotional intelligence piece, what that really means in a nutshell is, who am I for real? What do I feel? Because what we teach each other, make decisions without feelings. No logic, no emotions, no. That's like eating food, not tasting it, right? Like that's not how we function. That's not how a human is, right? And so if I always deny that I got food in my mouth, right? That's weird. But I deny that I'm mad. I deny that I'm happy. I deny that I'm excited. I deny that I'm disappointed. No, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. I deny I'm thirsty. I turn down the water. I go to your house. No, I'm good. I don't need nothing. Knowing I could use some OJ. We lock ourselves.
Right.
Then we get sickness. Sometimes physiological sickness. Sometimes depression sickness. Sometimes our sickness shows up as anger, as touchiness. And I'm not the one. They already know how I am. How I get that. That's a form of dis-ease. Disease, dis-ease. We're not at ease. Because we're not true often to ourselves, right? So what I've started trying to do with myself, bro, is look at the relationships in my life as opportunities to see mirrors, reflectors. Okay. Why did I hear it that way? Because if me and you was chilling, right? We had some wings, we kicking, right? And somebody say something, I mean, crazy, and we thought they sounded hilarious, we would be falling like, what's that, brother? We'd be dying. He might have been trying to be mean, and we over here can't get it together because of how we are. Not what he said. Now, take exactly what he said, and now I'm mad, you mad. What changed? He said the same thing in both situations. Us, Leroy. Us, bro. And the more we take the time to do that, it don't matter who to what. Not to say that people just can do anything. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that we can control uno nuno, one person.
Right. That's right.
That's a big part of it, man. I learned that overall at this point from my mom.
That's what's up, man. You know, I lost my mom at 12. So,
I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah, my mom was killed. So, my relationship with my mom, she was my best friend. But see, I was fortunate enough to be raised by two women.
Okay.
Because the next woman that came into my life was my father's wife.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I couldn't stand her, man. I wanted nothing to do with her. But here's where God put his hand in everything. That lady became the biggest ally in my life, bro. And we became like that. You hear me? That lady is the reason I am what I am. Despite knowing that I come from a different woman.
That's right.
You know, that woman is the reason I became what I am.
We got a lot in common, man.
We do, brother. We do.
There was so I got 5 children, right? My oldest kids are twins. They're 19, Aaliyah and Anthony. Except for my oldest son, my twin, my 19-year-old Anthony, is not biologically our child. He's
Right.
extended family. His mom passed very early when he was a small boy,
Mm-hmm.
and he was getting passed around the family, man. I mean, passed around, this little big head, peanut headed little boy, right? Just getting passed
Right.
around. One day, my wife was like, "This ain't good for him." She was like, he can't do this." And so at the time, I think that we had 3 kids, and she was like, "What's one more bowl?" She was like, "What's one more bowl of cereal?" Right? And so on that part of the family, there is a big mama. And around the same time, she told me, she was like, "Y'all need to take him, Chris." Like, not ask me. You hear me?
Yeah, you need to take them.
She's like, "Y'all need to take him." We took him in, man. It was the best thing that ever happened. It leveled out my house in an amazing way, right? And then, so I got 4 teenagers, and then I got this is how I do it. My 4 kids and my thumb. We got a little 10-year-old that snuck in, man, somewhere. I don't know where that cat came from. Somebody left the gate open on that, bro. You out of all of that's the extra, not before.
Right.
That's the little extra kid, but so that part of it, we have in common. And then I have what'd you say, Sergeant Major Commander
Oh,
Johnson.
Lieutenant Commander Johnson.
I have one of those in my life. His name is James Worthy. And James Worthy got me started on my speaking career. I don't know if I ever told you this story before.
No,
but,
you haven't.
So this is when Anthony and Leah were about to be born. So I've known Anthony I knew his mama before he was born, right? So him and Aaliyah were coming into the world, and I was feeling the pressure of new fatherhood. And so I was working at a nonprofit off of Drew Hill Drive, Drew Hill Park Drive, over there by Park Sauce, and over there by CCB, more or less.
Okay.
And I told him, I was like, "Bro, I need to make some extra money." I didn't know what he was going to do. I didn't know what he was going to say. I was just feeling stressed. He was like, "Sit down." We jumped online, boom, boom, boom. We pulled up some job search, monster.com, career builder type thing. And there was this post in Leroy that basically was like, "You like kids? Are you funny?" I was like, "I'm funny looking. What's up?" It's like, "Can you hold their attention? If you think that you can make an impact in the lives of young people, send us a video of you talking about anything for 5 minutes. If you can hold our attention, we believe that you can hold their attention. We're going to give you a chance to be on our stages," right?
Wow.
Flying around, going to cause a national opportunity, all this other kind of stuff. Man, I was like, this is great. James Worthy was on cloud 9 with it. He was like, "Rodney, your life will change, bro." He was so proud. We filled it out right then, right? But it was that's not what they wanted from us. They wanted a video and a resume, right? So I had to go record. It wasn't just something I could just do real quick online. And he walked me around that whole job, Leroy. Manager to manager. Rodney ain't gonna be here long. He about to take off. Rodney ain't gonna. We got this opportunity. He
saw what you didn't
see. Saw
see.
what I couldn't see. He took me to the CEO. He was like, "Joe," brother by the name of Joe Jones in Baltimore to this day. He said, "Joe," he said, "Rodney's not gonna be here long. We got this opportunity. It's tailor-made for him. He's about to go." And Joe was like, "Yeah, all right. Okay, well, you remember us little people, he said that kind of stuff." That was on a Friday. Monday, he meet me at the door. Now, what he don't know is that growing up, having very little, growing up in a homeless shelter, growing up seeing my mom get beat up, growing up not having enough, so considering whether or not I really need to hit this hustle for real or not, like being in that environment, what I learned was that having more wasn't really an option. And I learned to settle. I was a cool cat. We ain't got it. And I never let it be a big deal, right? We ain't got it. Well, that showed up. Because as he was walking me around, I didn't believe it. He believed it. I didn't believe it.
Right.
And no sooner had he said goodbye on that Friday, I was already like, it was dissipated, it was evaporated. I was like, I had hair at the time, like braids and all this stuff. You know, my hair wasn't rebraided. That was a reason why I couldn't do the video. I didn't have no camcorder. You know this shit was old. This shit was old, Leroy. I had a camcorder. You know, that's another reason I couldn't do the video. Anyway, all these excuses. Anyway, I settled. Boom. Monday, he meet me at the door. What's good? I was like, oh man, you know, I ain't really get to it. He's like, what you talking about? Man, no, man, because you know, hair, camcorders. He's like, Rod, what you mean your hair? What you mean he was like, we got a camera at the job. I was like, I know, but that's work and it's personal. He's like, I took you to the boss. Everybody knew, all you had to do was ask me. I could have gave you the camera. What are you talking about? And the more I talk, this Leroy, the amount of happiness that he had, that same level of passion, this was pissed off. His eyes got like kind of like red or like that tear.
Yeah.
He was wearing a suit. He wears a suit every day. I've never known
this
brother
away an opportunity. That's why he was getting pissed.
He was pissed, bro. It's not funny because I really thought hands was coming. Even though he's at the job, even though he's in a suit, you know what it feel like. You know that
tension. That tension.
And he was doing this. Remember this old movie? Man, he was like, he said, don't you ever let somebody be more excited about your future than you are for yourself. Then he took me back around to the managers, Leroy, to the CEO. My bad. Rodney's still going to be here. This is the face of a man that don't believe in himself. He going to be here. He ain't going nowhere. I overspoke. He walked me around and redid it, bro. The same joint.
Ooh, that'd have been enough motivation for me.
That was it. That week, I called my cousin up. You know them little cassette tapes that you record on? He had one of them type of cameras. I was like, can I get your joint? The 8mm. I was like, can I get your joint? I set up in the living room out in Dundalk by the Key Bridge. Out in Dundalk. I set up in my little living room and I talked as if I was doing because I used to run groups, men services groups at that job, the same job. So I just did one of those, right, for the camera. And then people called me, man. And I want to say it's been off to the races ever since. It was a lot of ups and downs. It was a lot of, we ain't got no food to eat in my house because we scrimping and getting by. But the journey of that, my 10,000 hours to the way I can talk to you like this now, started from my lieutenant commander about to swing on me at that job site, man. My life, bro.
Wow. That's deep right there.
Yeah, man.
That's deep right there. And that's what's so amazing about that. There's a good buddy of mine by the name of Jason Beauvais.
Okay.
And we're in this company together called Vantage.
Vantage
Financial Alliance.
Got you.
And my company is attached to this company.
Okay.
Now my company is TLC Financial Global.
Okay.
I told him one day, I said, hey man, I had a dream. And he was like, what kind of dream? And Jason talks real fast. You'll get to meet him, but he talks real fast.
Okay.
And he was like, what kind of dream? I said, dude, I had a dream that I was doing a talk show. And he was like, for real? I said, yeah. And so this girl named Natalie was like, well, Leroy, if God gave you a vision, he also gave you a name. And I said, it's funny you mentioned that. I said, Jason, the person I was interviewing on the show was you. He said, for real? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, man.
So he was like, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm about to come up with the Leroy Carlton show.
Yeah, man.
And I said, I need you to be my first interview.
Come on.
Hence, I had went and did a video. And if you go to YouTube, the Leroy Carlton Show, Facebook, the Leroy Carlton Show, you'll see all the shows I've done.
Gotcha.
You are my 12th show.
I love that, bro.
And I interviewed him. And when we got done, he said, you know what, brother?
Mm.
He said, you're going to be the next Steve Harvey, bro.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
And I started laughing. I'm like you. I started laughing. I thought that was funny. But he said, no, dude, I'm serious. He said, you're going to be the next Steve Harvey. Man, he said, you know where you can go with this? I ain't really thinking nothing of it. You know, I'm like, okay, I had this dream.
Right.
You know, God said, hey, you need to do this.
Yeah, man.
So I came up with the Leroy Carlton Show. Now, right behind that,
okay,
I started another show called Women Rising.
Okay.
Women Empowering Women.
Okay.
So I got 4 women, 5, one is a host. I got 4 women that's talking about issues pertaining to women.
That's beautiful.
Being entrepreneurs.
That's beautiful, brother.
And that's on the YouTube website as well.
You're doing God's work out here, bro.
When I hear you, and see, you're not the only person that said that to me.
It speaks for itself, though. Yeah, man.
And you know, I would like you know, I'm telling Jason, I said, man, you know, nobody got on my last call. He said, what you mean? I said, nobody got on my last show. He said, that was no views. He was like, oh, don't worry about that, brother. It's coming.
It's coming.
He said, it's coming.
It's coming.
He said, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So I stayed disciplined. And I do this. Which leads me to my next question for you.
I love it. I love it.
The companies that you've helped.
Yeah, man.
Fed Chrysler Corporation, Federal Department of Education,
yeah, man.
Washington, D.C. District.
Yeah.
What companies do you see yourself impacting in the future?
Okay. I've never been asked that question before. So I think that beyond companies, well, first of all, let me stick in the federal government space. I never, ever thought I would be in the federal government. Now, I ran for office. I held office in Baltimore from 2010 to 2014. It was an entry-level position. I served on the state central committee for the 43rd legislative district. And it was great. But being in political office and being in politics and being in government is it's a power position and it's very restrictive. It's a lot of what you can and can't do. And so either you stay in these lines that to me, you don't really make the impact that you can make because it's very structured. It's very rigid of what you can and can't do officially.
Like the military.
Or you skirt the rules and you become one of those kind of cats that's like, and unfortunately, I am more of the type, I don't skirt the rules to steal. I don't skirt the rules, but I'm not going to not do something good because ain't nobody done it before because we ain't got no permission to do it. So I was doing that kind of stuff, man. I was holding community-wide events and all that. Well, that wasn't in the charter, in the Maryland charter for my role. That wasn't what we did. I was getting calls from like higher up and state senators and the city chairman, like, what? Who gave you permission? I was like, bro, we work for the city. We got elected. First of all, you're not my boss, right? But then also, why you not doing it? Like we're not. It doesn't say we can do it, but it don't say we can't. I'm too much of that kind of cat to have stayed in that life too long, right? So here I am training. The Federal Department of Education has 4,000 employees. Their senior leadership is who my contract is with. I am training them around emotional intelligence, communication styles, leadership stuff, like all that. I never thought, Leroy, in a million years that I would be in a position if I thought Baltimore City and Maryland state government was structured, federal government, and you want to know what's crazy? Guess what I'm talking to them about? This stuff. God, bro. That's God, brother. This stuff. I could see if I was in there reading off a script, printing PDFs, they get this. Now they get a more, I don't hit them with the Park Heights lingo, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it don't matter because that's just seasoning. That's just flavoring, right? But the meat and potatoes are what they get this. And I'm so grateful for it. So a part of me wants to blow this wide open. And I want to open the door and bring other people that's like me in to do it. Because it's a lot of opportunity and it's a lot of money. Keep it a buck. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of opportunity. And I think it's time for like a changeover, right? And the way I got in, bro, was so unstructured. Like getting a government contract is a process. You know this. You've heard it. You've been around it for a long time. The way I got in, there was a company that's been around for almost 20 years, had a standing contract. They modified it, needed a space field. I just so happened to have met that person. They was like, didn't you say you do organizational development, professional development training? I was like, yeah, I do. Can you do it here? I think so. Within a couple of months, man, a process that should take forever. I'm getting fingerprint. They shipping me a laptop. I'm in there talking and here's the other part about it. They paired me with a full-time employee in the government space, right?
Right.
Family situation, whatever, that person went away for a while. For good reasons, but had to go take it, was gone for like several months. The face of what they were getting for several months, the Office of Civil Rights, Office of Federal Student Aid, the Office of Special Education for the United States of America. These leaders sitting on my table, my rooms. I'm going down to DC, giving them life. So if I can do more of this, I want to go global, bro. I want to be nationwide, man. I want to be international. I've already done some international stuff. I honestly believe, and I say this humbly, but I say this very assuredly, very definitively. I believe I have health for people. I believe it. I believe it. Just like Steph believe he can shoot a 3. I believe it, bro. And so I want to go into places and cook, provide, give this, right? Also receive, because that's the relationship, right? It's like a bee. Bee go in there, drop off some pollen, but they pick up some pollen. They go over there, they drop off, but they pick up. I've done that work. I consider myself to be that type of worker bee, where some of the wisdom and knowledge that I get, it got Rodney flavoring. It do. But so much of it is because I done sat and talked and heard Leroy's story. And I done met through Leroy, Lieutenant Commander. And I done met and was reminded of James Worthy, my Lieutenant Commander. All of that is happened. And so now tomorrow, when I go talk to these people tomorrow, I got a new fresh bowl, bro. And so I want to do more of that, but not just in the government space. I want to go worldwide, bro.
And see, we on the same page, because when I look at, I like my man E.T.
Yeah, man.
Right? I love that dude.
Yeah. Eric Thomas.
He's with a team of people.
Yes, sir.
And they just go around.
That's right.
On stage just talking to people.
That's right.
So what's keeping us from doing that?
Nothing.
Because I like get on stage and I like talking to people about finances. Okay. I love that. And what made me get into that is because the military never talk about money unless you mess money up. Now you got to sit in front of the man and explain to the man why your bills at your house didn't get paid and the bill collector's calling a unit.
You got to talk to the military about that, like your higher ups.
Oh yeah, if say AT&T,
yeah,
you ain't paid your cell phone bill in forever, and they trying to get that money from you.
Yeah,
well, they can't talk to you because you ain't answering the phone.
Right.
They know you in the military.
Okay.
So they'll pick up the phone and call your unit.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, companies will do that. At one time,
breach of confidence or something, breach of something.
Nah, they at one time they couldn't do that. If you was in the military, nobody could touch you. No company could garnish your paycheck or none of that. They couldn't touch you. But now,
Wow.
but yeah, if a company pick up the phone and say, "Hey, we're trying to get a hold of Sergeant Carlton. We've been trying to get a hold of him. He ain't answering the phone. We can't contact him." And they was like, "Well, what for?" "Well, he ain't paid his bill in over 4 months." "Oh, he hasn't." "Okay. Well, we'll take care of that. Don't worry about it." So when you come in, you standing in front of the man explaining
That's
why you ain't paid
amazing.
that bill.
Wow.
So now we're going to send you to a class that's going to show you how to budget your money, da 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 da. But it's a check the box type deal. So I would always sit here and be like, man, we got homeless veterans out here.
I heard about this.
And I'm like, why do we have homeless veterans when they do just serve their country?
Yeah, man.
So why is there no provision set up? If I'm constantly getting promoted and I'm making more money, why is there nobody in my ear telling me, okay, now that you've made this promotion, here's what you need to do with your money?
That's right, bro.
So once I retire from the military, I'm sitting pretty to a point
Right.
that my money is working for me. So I don't have to come right out and look for a job unless I want to.
Right. Okay.
But you got people getting out. That's like, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah.
You got military members on food stamps.
After serving. After doing it.
Come on, man. It ain't no way. So when I went to Fort Lee, which ain't no longer called Fort Lee no more, I went to the Soldier Center, and this is where they hold this thing called the TAP class.
Okay.
This is the class that you get upon getting out of the military to show you how to balance your checkbooks, talk to you a little bit about money, but it's not enough to help you. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
Because when I went through that class, I'm like, man, this is what you should have learned in high school. It's a check the box. So when I went there and said, hey, look, let me talk to the soldiers about finances and what they need to do with their money to make their money work for them. No, you're not. We already got professionals to handle that. You're not going to come in and change our program. I said, I don't want to change the program. I want to add to it.
Right.
I want to enhance the program. No, we already got a curriculum or whatever. I said, but your curriculum ain't helping. I know. I went through it. I'm telling you, it don't work. They weren't trying to hear it. So I said, okay, well, me and my wife will start our own company and we'll do it. We'll do it that way.
How you gonna get to the vets, bro? How you gonna get to the servicemen? How you gonna get to the
vets now? Because there's a way around.
That's right.
Because I always go to the post because I shop at the commissary.
Okay.
So whenever I go there and I see soldiers, I stop them. Especially if you're young, I see you're a young soldier, I stop you. Hey, my first question is, are you making this a career? If they tell me, yeah, my next question to them is, what are you doing with your money? And I ain't talking about going out here buying no Jordans, getting yourself the newest sweatsuit. What are you doing with your money? Now, I may talk to 5, 1 may listen. That's all I need. That's where I'm at. So if I can get on a stage and put this out to hundreds of people, I don't care how many, it'd be one person sitting in the audience. If I can put this out to people on a regular basis, just flying around like you, just going to different states or countries or whatever, and just talking about this stuff, man, that would be heaven. If this what I'm doing right now is a start of getting me there, man, that would be heaven.
The stuff that you're talking about is such a big need for it.
Especially in Baltimore.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right? Everywhere. Especially in Bmore. And I got so many thoughts. First of all, I'm definitely down to see what that could look like. That's the first thing. Second thing is, um, just like out of your 1 out of every 5 of the guys that you talk to, that reminded me of when you was talking to, I don't know military terms, but when you were talking to that group and they said they had a curriculum already, and it's like they know it's a need, but it ain't making them bleed. It ain't hurting them enough for them to really kind of make the changes. And so
Exactly.
it's tough, man, because a lot of times the places, the people, the population that need it the most can't pay for it to get access. They don't know how to access it. They don't have the taste for it. You know, like when your idea of juice, not you, but somebody's idea of good juice is red Kool-Aid, right?
I
Like
feel
100% juice, when they get thirsty, they don't crave that. Like they don't even want it. Because to them, juice is red drink, right? Grape drink. And so it the it's such a big need, man. I do want to figure out how in the world do we get it out more. Um, that's second, third thing. And in addition to that, I don't know if you have a guest every single week, but
I
maybe
usually do a show every Wednesday.
every Wednesday. Maybe this is a third show for you because you got 2 shows, your women's show and this show, the TLC joint. Maybe Leroy's voice on this internet space with about 6, 5, 12, 10 modules of you talking about this stuff. Maybe they real short, like the Instagram Reels shorts, YouTube short. Maybe they long. Maybe it's an hour joint. Maybe it's an hour joint that you snip it up. I don't know, bro, but I don't want to only wait until some nice big old company strokes us a check and flies us out to Colorado to talk to some people that can afford it but don't need it. I also want to, in addition to maybe that, great, right? That's great. But in addition to that, this is a great platform, man. And maybe it's a third show, but you got it in you, bro. And I feel it. And I already told you that you're doing God's work. It's no way. I've done a lot of interviews, bro. I've been on a lot of shows. Everyone don't go this way. Everyone don't bring out us talking about family type stuff in such a way where I'm like, man, somebody just today hit me about it. You're doing God's work, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question.
I like it.
Your mantra.
Yeah.
Let me help your team overachieve.
Yeah.
What made you come up with that?
So here's the secret. All relationships, I referenced this earlier, but I'm gonna tell you that I believe that this is a universal truth. Let me tell you what I mean by that. A universal principle, a universal truth, you're gonna see it everywhere in all different shapes, sizes, categories. So for example, if you think about the solar system, right? You got a big center, sun in the middle, and around it, planets are going. And if you look at the model, it's the rings around it, and it kind of goes out. You got the little planets going. You don't get much bigger than that, right? It's the solar system, the galaxy, right?
Right.
If you look at an atom, there's a nucleus in the middle. Around it is some rings.
That's true.
Photons around it, right? The universal principle. Another universal principle, Leroy, is that, and I mean this, man, and it's going to sound like a big statement. Every relationship is a reflection of who I am. Every single one. And what's messed up about it is we don't get that, right? We don't click. It don't click for us. So one of my friends said, one of my friends, I do this kind of talking with them, unpacking with all the time. He was like, bro, you never really like or dislike anybody. You don't love or hate anybody. You love the you that you experience when you're around them, or you can't stand the you that you become when you're around them. But it's the you that you're talking about. All relationships are really self-reflective. Here's the universal principle. If I get close, two people get real close, and I look into their eye, what do I see in their eyeball? My reflection. It's a universal principle, bro. So, as leaders, pastors, principals, administrators, managers, it doesn't matter, parents, if I want the best out of them, y'all better do, y'all, because it's time. That's an approach, but that's trying to like shave the mirror. That sounds stupid, right? We get it when I say it like that. You got to shave me so that the reflection gives me what I want. I got to shave my face. Well, in order to get the best out of my wife, girlfriend, cousin, my cat, my dog, my kids, my students, my parishioners, I have to change me. So me helping the team overachieve sounds like, yeah, man, because I'm about to fire everybody. I literally had somebody say that to me. That's where I got the lingo from. It's like, I wish I could fire everybody and start over. If we had time, I would tell you about this ego charter school in Baltimore, but I can't tell you about that school right now. But they want to fire everybody and start over.
Wow.
I heard it from two different, one in DC and one in Baltimore. Well, what happens is this. I can tell them, you better, you better, you better, you better. But their ability to be better is capped at my level of leadership. So if my level of leadership is at a 7 and I'm trying to, y'all need to, or they going to get me out of there. I'm going to work myself out of a job. And so what I really got to do is come up. And as I come up, it brings up like people. This is the last thing I'm going to say on it. I could talk about this all day, bro. There's this study. It's a group of, it's this field of science called cognitive studies. It's the study of how people think, right? So they sent 10 people walking through the crowd. Some of the people get bumped in, they can't get through anybody that don't know. Some people walk through no problem. And so when they went back and they studied the footage, the people who looked at everybody else, it's almost as if the old saying, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. Because they didn't seem like they were going in a particular place, they were just moving. The world, the relationships bumped them around, right?
Right.
The ones who was like, I'm going there, kind of like MJ again. MJ said, I don't see my opponents. I'm just trying to score. Like, they're not even there. The score is 0-0. I'm just trying to make this next bucket. So all of this moving is not really, it look fancy, but I'm not really trying to move around them. I'm just trying to, where's the bucket now? Where's the bucket now? It's like they're appendages, right? They're not really there. The people that moved through the crowd, Leroy, without a problem, was the people who was like, I'm going there. And they would move. And the world responded. This is a universal principle. People treat us how we treat ourselves. They view us how we view ourselves. So if I think I'm dirty and I'm a piece of crap, I'm going to unintentionally attract an abusive boyfriend. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna attract. If I think that everything, and I'm gonna get somebody to steal my money. They have to. It's a law. Life and death is here. It's a law, bro. And so, if I really, really want to change, and I know this sounds so cliche, but shout out to Mahatma Gandhi. You have to be the change that we want to see. And so I give my leaders this, my peers this. And so what's embedded in this is kind of like this carrot that I dangle. You tired of fussing at them. Let me come in and get them right. That's the fake out, bro. With the real work is us sitting down when they not in the room, when the team ain't there, and it's just us, the little team of 3, 4, 5 or 1-on-1, and we're going through and we're going through and we're going through. And I include myself in it because if you go, this, if I go in there like a know-it-all, I know I said last story, true story. There was a group of doctors, black doctors. It's called the Cobb Institute. I just spoke at their conference. Lady reached out to me on LinkedIn and was like, Rodney, can you come in, talk to these groups? She talked to me and she was like, listen, all of these people are 60, 70, 80 years old. They have done phenomenal in their medical careers. Some of them have procedures, wings, and hospitals named after them. But we're having these issues, and I see your work. I need you to come and fix it. Go. What? Because where I come from, you don't talk to grown folk. No kind like, what am I going there and say to these grown 60, these grandparents? And then they medical professionals too. And so we had a great time, right? That was just this year. That was this year, 2024. But you go in there humble, but confident. There's a difference. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Confidence is comfortable and it's assured. Arrogance kind of has like a belittling effect, right? Nobody like that. But I couldn't go in there asking, right? Not with that crew, especially. They are sure they got people's lives in their hands. So you go in there confident, right? That means you spend your reps in the gym, 10,000 hours. You know your shot. I know my shot, Leroy, right? I know my shot. So I went in there, man, but you include yourself in the healing, in the process when you're dealing with folks. And when we do that and we all are coming up and getting better, it has an effect on the body, bro. And so I don't know how I got into all of that, but yeah, that's what undergirds that quote, that mantra. Let me help the team overachieve. That's what went into that, man.
Okay, looking at your life,
yeah, man.
Now,
yeah, man.
What motivates you to do what you do?
I have a vision of myself that I want to achieve. And I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue, bro. Like I feel like it's here. And I so desire to be this feels a little emotional for me, man. But I not only mean what I'm saying, right? But I want to mean it too. And I don't know if you can feel the difference in that, bro.
I do.
I'm not just talking to people about we can be different and better because it sounds good. I believe it, bro. And I try to live it. I try to learn something new every day. I try to apologize to my children when I'm wrong, right? I try to go back and make something right. I'll tell you something I ain't told nobody else. I told one person. I'm going to tell you. Now I'm going to tell everybody. This is the stuff that gets my heart, right? This like, you know, like when God speaks to your heart, like this be the stuff, man. Like for me, it don't be about like the stuff that, let me get to the story. I was at Walmart and
excuse me,
telling the little cashier lady, little older lady. I had a whole bunch of stuff, man, big old cart full of stuff. And she told me the price and I was like, I thought you was gonna pay for it. And she was like, no, I didn't pay. And she said, if I had it, sweetheart, I would do it for you. She was like, but I don't got it. And I was like, I was just playing such and such. And I was going to leave out and I felt, it wasn't like a words, bro, but it was like I could feel, I always keep like a little bit of cash in my wallet, right? It was like, you know, like give it to him, be a blessing to him. Be a blessing to him. Now we in the front of Walmart, all these people around. It's weird to do, and I'm second guessing it because it's weird, right? And so I'm walking because I paid with a card. Now I'm got like it's just too many steps, right?
Right.
I'm walking out, but Leroy, this be the stuff that gets me later. I'm sitting driving. It's like, you know what you should have did. Like little stuff. Like I know it's little. I know it's not little. Maybe it is. Maybe I don't know. But this be the stuff, bro. So against my logic, I was like, this don't make no goddamn sense. I don't even know how I'm gonna do it. So I paused, I pulled it out, and then I had the idea. And I was like, excuse me. I was like, can you show me something on my receipt real quick? So I had this long old receipt. I folded the money up in the receipt, right? And I said, listen to me. This don't have nothing to do with the receipt, but I needed a reason that we can do this out openly. I said, when you said if you could pay for it, you would. And she was like, I said, listen. I said, so what I would like to do, if you allow me, I want to buy you lunch. Can I pay for your lunch? You can't, no. I said, shh. Forgot her name. Let's say Miss Lindsay. I was like, Miss Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
Black woman. Like, Miss Lindsay. I said, Miss Lindsay, this is my receipt. You know they're going to check my receipt at the door. So I'm going to hand you my receipt. I want you to make sure that it's okay. Give me my receipt back, Miss Lindsay. And she stopped. She put her arms down. And she looked at me. She said, you. I said, can you take my receipt, Miss Lindsay? She took my receipt. And I took the receipt back. I teased it out. I said, right? I said, thank you, Miss Lindsay. That's who I want to be. I believe I have a gift for the world, bro. But in my heart, Leroy, that's who I am. That's who I am. Right. If I can do that. Remember I was talking about flavor and seasonings?
Mm-hmm.
Stages and microphones is just a season, it's a flavoring, right? But if I can be for Miss Lindsay, sometimes when ain't nobody around, and it's sometimes when it's 3,000 people, there's cameras everywhere. I want to be more of that guy. I have a vision of it, bro. That's where I see myself.
I like that, man. I like that. So, what would you say?
Yeah, man.
To Rodney today, what would you say, or what advice would you give to the 18-year-old Rodney?
Slow down. I would tell him to slow down, man. I didn't realize at the time, but though I could feel it, like if I put myself back in shoes, I was running from. And just like in like a scary movie, that kind of running is not very direct. It's not like Usain Bolt, Sha'Carri Richardson running. Like them, they on a T2, right? T1000, right? They, when you running like that, it's kind of like a helter skelter, kind of like just all out, just flailing. I was all over the place, bro. I was running from a very jacked up childhood, teenage life that had a lot of potential, and I didn't know which way was up. I didn't know why everybody said I had potential. I didn't know why I was lying to myself saying that my stuff wasn't that bad, but it felt real bad. But then I was like, you making more out of it. So I'm hard on myself for even thinking that stuff was bad. But I also don't know why I don't have more. And I just felt all over the place. And so I ran to a very particular target as an 18-year-old to try to heal myself. And I was moving way too fast. And it was unguided. And I wish, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do it now. This is going to sound crazy. But you did it. You did it, brother Curtis. It's your fault. I was exposed to this idea that our spirit don't have no time, right?
None.
Timeless, right? As such, spiritual wounds, spiritual healing, spiritual growth can happen anytime. My 7-year-old self can be healed by my current year-old self in a way. Now, here's the freaky part about it. This is the part that got to me, bro. This might be old news to you. This is the part that tripped my little brain out. Heal in such a way where the 7-year-old me now grows up with the new healing, So I'm a different person because that was a different kid. That's a healed kid that went, turned 8, turned 9, turned 10. That became to be me. And so now I'm a different and better person because I went back and loved on this little guy and created this whole healing thing. You prayed earlier, so I'm going to feel like I have liberty to talk about this.
Yes.
Jesus does it, though. And so, like, all of this whole salvation works for people back in the day, people in the future. He covered your future sins, your past sins. It's the same timeless thing. It's the same healing that it's the same, right? It's the same. And so I was just exposed to this idea. So I'm going to take this as an opportunity to heal myself. So my 18-year-old self, Brother Curtis, needed to know that he didn't have to run so hard. I needed to know that I was okay. I needed to know that I could calm down and that nothing was going away. I wasn't losing anything. And I give myself permission to breathe. That's what I needed, bro. Thanks, man.
That's what's up.
Thank you, bro.
That's what's up. My last question.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, man.
5 to 10 years from now?
Worldwide, bro. This video is going to get so many views. Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but there's going to be a time where, and I hope YouTube is still paying money, because I believe you pulled a whole lot out of this interview. You pulled a whole lot up out of it. You deserve to get that, whatever's connected to it as far as compensation, in my opinion. There's going to come a time where people are going to want to go back and like, who was Rodney? Where did he come? Where did this come from? It's taken me 15 years to be an overnight success. That's fine. That's fine, right? But in 5 to 10 years, man, I'm going to be very worldwide. It's already happening. It's already happening. And I see it. That's the vision of myself that I was referring to. I see it, Leroy. I can see it. I got a vision board literally right there. Literally right there in this room on these blue walls.
Hey, whole life wrote out. I can just turn the page for you, brother. Whole life wrote out. Oh, I'm way ahead of you, brother. We on the same page.
I love this, man. You got it, bro.
We're on the same page.
Man. Don't ever stop this, bro. Don't ever stop being Leroy. Because whether or not YouTube existed, you still are this cat. Like, you're still this guy. Please keep being Leroy, bro.
Hey, man, I want to say thank you. For those of you that are watching, this is Mr. Burris information.
Yeah, man.
If you ever want to get in contact with him, talk to him, ask him questions, whatever it may be, this is his information for you to get a hold of him and talk to him. And this is a brother you want to talk to. I'm just telling you that right off the bat.
Yeah, man.
But again, brother, I thank you.
Yeah, man.
Wow, this was an awesome interview. And this has been the longest interview I've ever done.
I did a time.
Look, it didn't even, the time didn't even matter, brother. The time didn't even matter.
That's that timeless we was talking about, bro.
So I'm gonna put you in the back of the studio real quick, and I'm gonna close this out.
Cool.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The man, Rodney Burris. I love this brother. I love everything that he stands for. Definitely come back next week where I'll be talking to a power couple called Jewel and Roosevelt Beckles, who are just an awesome power couple and big entrepreneurs. These are people you also want to get to know. But again, I thank him for the opportunity to sit down and just chat it up with him. This was an awesome interview. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and what you heard, and I hope you got something from it. So until next week, God bless. And hey, keep doing what you're doing.